Here we go!
Welcome to MojoPlays, and today we're taking a look at 10 Xbox 360 games still worth playing today.
That lone wolf stuff stays behind. Clear?
No red rings of death here. We made sure we took full advantage of that extended warranty so we could continue to experience these fantastic Xbox 360 titles. Which 360 game did you spend the most time with? Did it make the list? Let us know down in the comments. Before we begin, we publish new videos all week long, so be sure to subscribe to MojoPlays and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos. Gears of War 2.
Okay, let's move out.
Let's just pretend the online multiplayer didn't exist for just a second. Even if it had launched with only the single-player campaign, Gears of War 2 was absolutely one of the best games we had seen on the 360. In addition to refining the mechanics of the first game, Gears of War 2 was where Epic Games found an identity for the franchise, in the form of tying chainsaws to the end of guns and using the remains of our enemies as literal meat shields. It was awesome! In other words, Gears brought the series forward as something hilariously visceral yet epic in every sense of the word. Just our one little complaint, what was that ending, man?
If you want to go in guns blazing, I don't blame you.
Dead Rising.
What in the hell are you people doing? Run! Quick, move! Get over here!
Capcom's zombie-slaying franchise has been dormant for some time now, thanks Dead Rising 4. But the first game, even with its occasional awkward controls, is still a treasure. The game lets you grab just about anything to use as a weapon to fend off the zombies crawling around Willamette Parkview Mall, and the zany psychos add to Dead Rising's over-the-top charm. Plus, the additional game modes like Infinity Mode and Overtime Mode give plenty of reasons to boot up the game for the 100th time and just start going off. Just make sure you give Frank West your utmost respect. He's covered wars, you know. Splosion Man! If there was one game to represent the golden age of Xbox Live Arcade, it would be Splosion Man. Developed by Twisted Pixel, Splosion Man's claim to fame was allowing players to splode up to 3 times as they wreak havoc across big science. You can splode on explosive barrels, splode on nuclear waste, splode on enemies and turn them into steak, and even splode donut men. The only thing you couldn't splode were your friends. And turrets. And electricity, nuclear waste, water, anything that isn't the backside of a robot, the sudden difficulty spikes, the price tag, pre-cooked meat, the usual stuff. You get the idea. Fable 2.
Hello there, young Rose. You look hungry. Have you reconsidered my offer?
We'll never be that hungry. The answer is no.
Some Fable players of old might prefer Fable 3's linearity, like myself, but Fable 2 truly was the best we had seen in the franchise. The world was bigger, there were more characters and objects to interact with, and you could even control your character's actions and expressions during cutscenes. There aren't any games that do that anymore. Basically, Fable 2 invited you to build a story with it, and do so with almost reckless abandon. Be as heroic or as villainous as you want, and there were virtually no consequences or restrictions for doing so. It's just a shame that the franchise could not repeat this level of success later on. Banjo-Kazooie Nuts and Bolts. It truly was pitiful how we were told a new Banjo-Kazooie was in the works, only to find a vehicle-building game. The backlash was understandable, and it still is today. However, when you look at Nuts and Bolts by itself, it is quite a fun and an impressive game. You can build just about anything you want, and challenges are designed in a way where you can work with what limited tools you have now, only to come back later to completely break these challenges with newer parts. Nuts and Bolts was certainly not a good Banjo-Kazooie game, but as a game on its own, it holds up really, really well. And the Xbox Series XS eliminates those long load times. They're basically non-existent. Blue Dragon.
Defense.
We'll be honest and say that Blue Dragon isn't exactly the most groundbreaking game on this list. This was also a complaint frequently tossed around during the review process, but did it really have to be? Yes, Blue Dragon does stay in line with the traditional RPG format and borrows ideas from bigger games such as Persona, yet there's more reason to play this regardless. What it does with its character, world, art style, music, and mechanics is enough to warrant a playthrough for any Xbox owner and RPG fan. Dead or Alive 4. Now, you want to talk about groundbreaking, take one nice long look at Dead or Alive 4. Even today, this game looks sexy as hell, and we aren't just talking about that because of the ladies, or the guys. Seriously, everybody in this game is hot, why? Dead or Alive 4 takes full advantage of the Xbox 360's hardware, rendering in an impressive amount of detail in its environments and character models. As for the gameplay, it still plays like a beauty. The controls are tight, the action is frenetic, and every character boasts an extensive move list, bigger move lists than its predecessors. And if you play your cards right, you can pull off some crazy combos with the environmental hazards and stage layouts. But if you aren't much of a fighting game player, Ninja Gaiden 2 had an equally impressive display of visuals and combat. Dance Central. Yeah, it is kind of weird for us to throw a Kinect game on here, but in all seriousness, Dance Central was one of the very few Kinect games that was legitimately good. First off, it did a far better job at reading movements than most Kinect games did. Honestly, you cannot say that about most of the Kinect's library. And it was even better than the titles that came after that. But as with any music game, how was the soundtrack? Well, it was fire, man. From Lady Gaga and Snoop Dogg to Rihanna and Kool and the Gang, Dance Central had a jammin' track list to dance to. Unfortunately, the licensing behind those songs is also why you can't buy the game on digital storefronts anymore. But it seems you can still buy some of the DLC songs. To eBay we go! Battle Block Theater. If you're looking for a platformer that isn't going to be as demanding as, say, Splosion Man, but still retains a level of challenge, you can't go wrong with Battle Block Theater. For the uninitiated, you are forced to compete in puzzle games for the entertainment of a race of, big beefy cats. I don't remember if they actually have a name, but they're basically cats. The gameplay is addictive with every level providing a new level of challenge, but the main attraction here is the humor. The narration by Will Stamper is comedy gold, and the game will make fun of you for being bad. And yes, you can play this on your Series XS. It is worth every penny. So grab your friends and play some Battle Block Theater. Halo Reach.
The Office of Naval Intelligence believes deployment of a Spartan team is a gross misallocation of valuable resources. I disagree.
We were so conflicted about which Halo game to put on here. Halo 3 or Halo Reach? Halo 3 was an excellent way to end what could have been an end to Chief's story, but at the end of the day, Reach just plays so much better. It was also more visually impressive thanks to Bungie's then new graphics engine and the brilliant sound design. On top of that, the different armor abilities and reworked weapons allow for you and your friends to, in a sense, customize and create weapon classes for yourselves. And do we even need to bring up the online PvP? Or Forge? Like, that was Halo multiplayer at its finest, man. Halo Reach is too good. I gotta get back to Halo Reach. Did you enjoy the video? Check out some of our other videos here, and don't forget to subscribe to MojoPlays for more great videos every day.